And that is where now the whole different context between the affirmative funds for the young people and the hustler fund. And by the way, just before we get mixed up in this whole arrangement, the young people need to understand there's a difference between hustler funds and the youth affirmative funds. Hustler funds will be driven through SMEs, but the youth affirmative funds belong to the young people. And that is the thing that we are going to be doing going forward. So, vijana watakuwa wakipata information ya pesa za vijana, opportunities za vijana, kazi za vijana kupitia technology. Tunatengeneza system ambayo itakuwa inaitwa pesa kazi. Pesa kazi itasaidia vijana kupata information wakiwa mashinani. You don't need to go to the office.
Yeah.
Watakuwa kiona leo kuna tenda fulani na ikipatikana pesa zitapatikana mahali fulani. This issue of eligibility when it comes to the young people is driven because of also financial literacy. Most of the young people are listed in CRB.
Yeah.
So when you hear about eligibilities and illigibilities issues, is all contained under the negative listing in CRB, and that's another area that I'm really pushing and pursuing to ensure that all the young people, over 5 million young people, are listed in CRB through character loans, through consumer loans zenye watu wanachukua pesa wanaenda kuwekelea magames na kubet. We have to address those issues, and then now we come back to sanitize ourselves as young people, to know that opportunity does not fall from the tree. You have to match up the information that you have, and that is where the young people need to understand. Tunafanya sehemu yetu, na pia vijana wachukue hatua ya kufanya sehemu yao.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that information. Maybe if I can speak for the sake of my fellow youth, more specifically here in Nakuru. Mm-hmm. Nakuru is a home of talent.
Yes.
There's a lot of talent in Nakuru, and it's quite evident we have given big names.
Yes.
Go outside of Nakuru and maybe flourish there.
Yes.
While in our own city we are not flourishing. Mm-hmm. There was this youth fund section for artists.
Yes.
Maybe does it also work like someone who's going into a business, or how does it come along?
Well, I have been keen in advocating for serious restructuring of all the affirmative funds for the young people. We realize that young people have talent, and they have the creativity, they have the energy, both in sports and creative arts, music and all that. But now the challenge has been when they go for these funds had the challenge of disbursement because they are not perceived as a product. So we want the funds for the young people, for creative arts, it should be under it should be given as a product. So when you see young people struggling in the society, they are talented but they are not able to fend for themselves. It all goes and boils back to the structuring. And to address the issue of restructuring the funds and the opportunities, I am of a view time is ripe now to have a fully fledged youth trust bank in this country. A bank that can identify with the needs of the young people. Those who are in music, they are able to get loan or investment for that. Those who are in sports like that and that. And that way we'll be able to address now the whole context. But you see, the affirmative funds framework and disbursement, it's through the intermediary. And the intermediary, these are agents, who have been given money to disburse on behalf of government. So we need to revise and see, instead of having administrative recurrent cost for different funds, youth funds on one corner, Wezo fund on one corner, digital and sports funds in one corner, and all these kind of things, we need to collapse it into one entity so that we have a fully fledged youth national bank where a young person, when he gets to that bank, sees the opportunities, he or she is treated as a client. So when you come as a musician, there's a product for music, there's a product for arts, there's a product for for the sports people. There's all this for innovation and all that, so that this whole problem, it doesn't become now a problem. You have to know somebody, you have to know Ndwati to get funding and all that. Those things should be, should be taken away from the whole space of youth empowerment. And that's why my specific agenda when it comes to the youth economic empowerment and transformation initiative is to ensure that there's inclusivity, there is participation on the young people, and also it doesn't end there. It also boils up to the administrative participation and inclusion of young people in positions for the PS, permanent secretaries, CAS, parastatals. We want to see the young people. Vijana si watu wa kupiga tu kura, alafu mkipiga kura mnaambiwa ngojeni pale. If you voted on this election for the first time as an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old, the next election, whether you like it, will be 25 years. If you are, if you are 22, if you are 18 years, next election you'll be voting as a 23-year-old. So we don't have the luxury of time. So the young people must be brought to the table, and they have to be brought to the table to speak their own things, and that's their right that we are presenting on this table, to say that the young people have to fight for their own rights, and rights are not given; they are taken. You have a right to life. So if you present yourself and you know that right, then you will not benefit from life itself. So it's a question of implementation, and that's why when we started, I said this phase of my leadership going forward in my new role in this country, I'll be keen on youth rights implementation. Whether it is the tenders for the young people, I need implementation. Whether it's the affirmative funds, implementation. Whether it is the youth appointments, it's boiling on implementation. Even the issue of the CRB, it is implementation. Vijana watolewa kwa CRB, because when we have these millions of young people in a cage called negative listing in CRB, then you create a dependent economy. So these people, young people as they are, they don't produce, they consume. And when they consume, they spend. And when they spend, they have no money. And when they don't have money, then we have a problem in this country.
For sure.
Yes.
Wow, that's been so powerful. Speaking about the CRB, not CRB actually, Hustlers Fund, in relation with the health funds and also funding of universities, because this is where most of the youth are found. There was a notice to the education CS,
Yes,
threatening for a strike from universities. So what is your take on that? Because this is really affecting the youth lives.
First of all, the issue of the hustler funds. The issue of the hustlers funds should not be discussed on a youth table. Let's have the separation. The Hustlers Fund is a separate fund which is different from the Youth Affirmative Fund. So that's where we start. The second thing, when we look at the issue of the health, and of course what we have seen in the recent days, that universities now, the funding will be reviewed, and actually universities are going forward, they're told that they will have to come up with their own revenue streams. There are two things to that. There is need to give it time, because you cannot just withdraw funding and tell them start. I think the model should be, as we are withdrawing, let us accelerate revenue streams for universities. Because again, the issue of help has not been profitable. And it cannot be a profitable entity, even on the part of government, because the interest rate itself, and also the default levels. And this default is not on the part of comrades. It all boils again on implementation. So you got a help loan through campus. You graduated, there's no job. There's no empowerment opportunity. How are you going to repay? You understand? So that is it is all retrogressive. So to address that, we need to come up with a policy that will be formulated to act as an intermediary. Through now, the universities as they are looking at coming up with revenue streams and also funding from the government, so that the comrades also don't get the challenge of, again, there's no money and then you don't have even the funds from government. At the end of the day, we should have a clear drawn line between the role and the benefit of a young person as a youth with the affirmative provisions for funding and empowerment and employment, okay, away from these segmented others who are beyond and above 35 years, whom there's a hustler fund to take care of that. So we need to come back, and coming back again involves again a lot of fighting. Vijana wajue hakuna kitu ya kupewa. Vijana mjue, this time mimi kama kiongozi I'll ensure that you also come on board. We have to fight together. We have to fight for our rights together. If you don't fight for your right, don't blame anybody that things are not going well. The point is this: it's either it starts well and ends well, or it starts bad and goes bad.
Wow. So Sandwati, maybe if you can, your parting shot, maybe I would love you to share your most awkward experience.
Oh yes.
Before you became a youth president.
Well, the first awkward experience I had. This time I got an opportunity. Yeah. Yani nilienda mahali kaangukia tenda, yani kazi, nikaambia kijana njoo, umesema vizuri sana, hii kazi tutapea. And I remember it was to supply some few things. So it happened that I went to the office and I was given the opportunities. Mimi najua kujielezea. But nilipoambiwa tumekupea kazi, kampuni yako inaitwa nini? Nilitunga jina hapo. Nikasema kampuni yangu ni biashara yangu, nikaandika. Na ilikuwa inaitwa Codeless Creations. Sitawahi sahau. Codeless Creations. Okay. Jina nzito hiyo. Sasa shida ilikuwa hapa. Nilipatiwa LPO ya Codeless Creations, sijafanya business registration. That was the most awkward situation. So I had to go. I'll much have the opportunity. Kakopa pesa kwa jamaa, tukafanya ile kazi. Sasa mwisho, and that's the truth. And young people need to learn from me. Nilifanya supply, nikapatiwa na nini. Sasa mwisho ikawa ni vipi payments hapa hivi nini, wapi VAT na nini. Check iandikwe. Ndugu bwana. Nilienda sasa, nimesha supply, sasa ndio naenda kuregister business. It was very awkward.
Wow.
And that's how I ended up being frustrated. But in that situation, a seed was buried in my heart that for you to succeed, you have to start right for it to end right. So, yeah, and that's a lesson for the young people.
Wow. Quite a parting shot. It's been nice having you in the show, sir. Ndwati, I've enjoyed your time. My viewers enjoyed your time too. We hope to host you next time. Thank you. Remember to catch us on Instagram, Wazito_TV_official. On Facebook, we are always there as Wazito TV. YouTube is Wazito TV. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Asante,
sir. Thank you so much.
Good. I love the way you moderated.
Wazito TV. Enable the future of humanity.